Hey guys, welcome to Heart to Talk, the podcast. I am the host and creator, Teresa Caesar. My intention for this podcast is to deliver to you wisdom, inspiration, and consciousness through solo episodes and conversations amongst insightful people. It is my greatest honor to bring to you talks that come from the heart. It is my pleasure to introduce our special guest for today, Janice Noehulani. She is this podcast's go-to love coach, intuitive healer, and energy alchemist with an impressive 26 years of training under numerous masters. She is a modern-day mystic with the ability to tap into your inner magic and guide you towards uncovering and maintaining the life of your dreams. For those of you who have been following this journey with me, you may have remembered Janice from some previous episodes, how to become a magnet for prosperity, transcending chaos to calm, and manifest love. However, for this episode, we're going to dive deep into a topic that holds immense power and personal magic, and that is becoming, the evolution of you. Janice will share her wisdom on how to embrace transformation, allowing you to evolve into the person you were meant to be. So get ready to embark on a journey of self-discovery and empowerment as we explore the path to becoming the evolution of you. Janice, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you, Teresa. Oh my God. It's always a pleasure to be here. Thank you. And this topic is truly dear to my heart, because I think that we're all kind of shedding our skin and getting an opportunity to lean into who it is that we want to be in this world and in our life and with our people, right?
Absolutely. Well, we're so excited to have you back. I love this topic so much, Janice. Can we go ahead and discuss what is the evolution of you?
Yeah, well, let's just take a journey back for a second to when we were kids. And that time where we were like, oh, I want to be this, and I want to be that, and I want to be this, and I want to be that. And there was a sensation of what that was. And it wasn't really about the career, to be honest with you. It was the sensation of feeling wonder and awe. It was creativity. It was courage.
Love that.
Right? And what we found for so many of us, like myself included, is that some of us have had to wander for a long time to actually begin to know who it is that we are meant to be. And the reason that's there is because of all this programming from our families, our parents, our society about who we are supposed to be, but not who we actually are, right? And so one, as we begin to shed light on like who we've been and who we want to become, I bring up that childlike feeling, because when you land on your purpose, on what it is that you're meant to do in this world, who you're meant to be in this world, and it's not really just about our careers. It's a state of being that we're after at this point, right? And in that, you can look back to when you were a kid and you had that wonder and awe. And when you land upon that same energy, a lot of people don't like it to do that as adults because they feel like, oh, it's scary to like be childlike. But in that childlike awe, that's when you're going to find your magic and your beingness, actually. Now, we have to, talk to a lot of people because it's like one or the other. It can just be kind of childlike or an adult. But what happens when you merge the two? What happens? You begin to have more creativity and playfulness, vulnerability. And when you're vulnerable, when you allow yourself to be infused by creativity and actually the wonder of nature itself, man, that's where all this juicy magic occurs. And when you bring it to your work, to your families, to your life, it's powerful.
Oh, I love that. I almost feel like it's that limitless self where you're like, I could do or be anything. And I feel like that's when I feel like I am becoming.
Yes. Well, I mean, honestly, Teresa, it's because you're taking a chance on you and a real wisdom that's trying to come down through you to be birthed through you. It is an evolution. You don't have to disrupt your whole life. You just have to keep moving one step, one breath at a time to keep going. Who you become, like a year from now, is not going to be the same person as who you had been 5 years from now. It's an evolution. And so we almost like harm ourselves and our families and our society when we're like, I'm going to slash and burn everything just for this dream. But really, quantum leaps happen within the slow, steady movement towards
I
you.
love that. Now, what does it feel like when we are resisting the becoming process?
Resistance can look like a fear of being, of stillness, of quietness, right? Resistance can also look like just an outright suppression. A lot of us are really afraid because when you allow yourself to move into who you know you are meant to be, you are inevitably going to experience fear. There is no one on this planet who won't experience that. You will feel fear, you'll feel some confusion because it's new territory. Even though it's who you are meant to be, if you're like all the millions of people here on the planet, you have probably not been accessing all of that. And that's why sometimes your world falls apart. All of the things that you built up for so long just fall away and crumble. And you're like trying to do everything you can to keep some sense of sanity. And it's still, no matter what you do, just crumbles. And often, and this is a hard one for a lot of people, but that's how life loves us. That's how the divine loves us, because if you walk down that path, you have a choice. You are at a crossroads. I can either deny who I am or I can be it. And sometimes divinity itself will start moving things out of your way so you can choose you. Right? Yeah, that's what happened to me.
Yeah, I could relate too.
Even though you might be in moments where you don't think you're going to survive, inside of you, that's where you see what you're made of. And all of us are made of the material to survive. That is literally our very cells, our DNA. Throughout time, we are made to do that.
I love that. So, what are some steps we can start doing today to either resume the process of becoming?
Yeah. So one of my favorite steps was actually created by Byron Katie. One of my favorite, just really easy, practical tools is it true? Just the simple question, is this true? And I'll tell you, this has been so common lately that we have history, right? And our history has created who we are right now, right? But so many people say something like, this is who I am. And when you ask the question, is that true? Because if we all evolve, right, it's probably not true that the resources and how you've handled things in the past is who you are to handle those things now. There's usually a gap between that, and we have to catch up to time where it is more that what's true for me right now. And what's true for me right now is I'm not happy, but I can handle this, right? A year ago, there are things that I couldn't say that for, but today I can do it differently. I am doing it differently. I've learned from my past, and the version of me who lived the past is not who I am right now. So is it true? That's such a powerful question.
I think of this is just how I am, right? Is it true? Are you just that way?
So I love that example, because let me ask you this question just to get the thoughts rolling, right? Well, that's just who I am. Means that I'm not interested in connecting with you. Most people, whether they want to admit it or not, are dying for connection. But this is just who I am pushes people away. It doesn't allow for someone to actually love you. And look, most of us do that because we're afraid to be rejected.
Oh, so it's a defense mechanism.
It is. We reject ahead of time in order for us to not feel rejected. But ultimately, we're rejecting ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then we also want to know who we are, which is what we're talking about here, which is the evolution of us. So well, that's just who I am, doesn't allow for you to own who you've changed into. Some of us still eat Cocoa Puffs on a daily. Some of us do, right? Some of us do. And occasionally when I feel like it, I'll have some Cocoa Puffs. But when I was
some Fruit Loops.
when I was some Fruit Loops, that's right. When I was 3, maybe till 10, whatever, I ate that. But I don't do that now. That's not who I am now, right? So I know I'm making it a little ridiculous, but we have to catch up to our evolution. We have to catch up to who we are right now. And if it is true, that is who you are, great. But pay attention to whether or not that is a form of rejection and fear of being rejected, fear of letting someone in. Oh my God, girl, it is scary. It is scary to let someone in and to let someone love you, especially if you're an adult listening to this right now and you felt some wounds and heartbreak. It's terrifying to let someone in. So just ask yourself if what you are saying is bringing life and love into your world, or is it is a way to protect yourself? And that's what I love about
Oh, I
is it
love
true?
that. What's the second tip?
Looking at when you're jealous of something. Because when you look at someone, you're like, oh, I want, or even who does that person think they are? You know, kind of a thing. There is so much information in that, because often there's something there that we're yearning for in ourselves, you know? And if we kind of just drop all the
Yeah.
the chatter and get real quiet, like, what was it about that person that I found enlivening or attractive, or that annoyed the heck out of me, right? What was it that created that response inside of me? And you'll find out a lot of material of what you might want to have more of in your life.
Wow, that's a great clue. Yeah, I
Right.
love that.
And then all of this requires quiet, learning how to slow your mind down. And I know we all talk about meditation, but meditation doesn't have to be just sitting. And
Yeah, like
or like just quiet. It doesn't have to just be sitting. It could be meditation could be washing your dishes. Meditation could be walking. And this is really important because your meditation might be very different. Like I can quiet my mind within seconds, right? I mean, I've been meditating for 30 years or whatever. But sometimes going to a dance class is my meditation and my communion. And so you have to kind of think about, like, what's it going to take to get yourself right here, right now in your body, and slow your mind down to be in presence so you can listen. You can hear what wants to come through you. And I want you to take a look at the yearning. Oh God, if I just had that, like, let yourself dream. So many people are afraid to dream right now because things look scary, but that's the material where creation is. So let yourself dream a little. And then, don't let it just be up in the cosmos, in the clouds, like ground it into your body, because this earth, this body is where we create from, and give yourself permission to just take a half a step in that direction, just to ignite a feeling of what it is that you're desiring, what you've been always wanting out of your life. A half step within thousands of steps is your quantum leap.
I love that. Any more tips on how someone could get activated?
Well, book a call with me, like get deep into your soul. Look, whether you book a call with me or not, I want to say honestly, if you feel like you need some help, ask for it. Like every person who's incredibly successful asks for help where they don't know what it is. If they're not an expert in it, they ask for help because it's quick that way. They want to get something done and they go for it. So let people in on what is happening in your world. We're so accustomed to wanting to have it right, having to be perfect, knowing what to do, and on social media, God, goddess, love it. It literally gives you this impression that you're supposed to have it all figured out. And all of them on social media do not, my loves. No one does. We are all in training ground always, because that's part of the evolution. So kind of release the pressure of having it right.
And so that being said, Janice, what is the best way for someone to get in contact with you so that they can be on the journey to becoming, or whatever it is, because you offer many tools to guide people?
Thank you. Yeah, my whole thing is really about teaching people how to heal themselves. And I do that in so many different ways. So just go to JaniceNoehulani.com, and I have a way you can talk to me for free to see if we're a good match to work together. And if we are, you can work with me privately or with lots of my different sessions. And I'm so excited about this course that's coming up, where I'm taking people by the hand and teaching them everything that I do to help others. And because that's my biggest mission. And my biggest mission is that not only do the people that work with me feel confident in navigating this crazy terrain called being human, and doing less harm upon themselves and others, but I want other people to teach these ancient tools and modern day tools that I bring to the table. And so I have a soul medicine healing certification program right now. It's a 12-month program. And I'm walking people through how to help others transform and heal while they're making money doing it.
Wow. Awesome. And I'll definitely drop like your links in the show notes as well. So thank you for that, Janice. To wrap up this episode, per tradition, I'm going to ask you these closing questions, Janice. So the very first one, what are your favorite morning affirmations or mantra or a prayer to get your day started and to get connected to yourself and source?
Yeah. Okay. So I am open to a higher light. I welcome the incoming energies which are changing me and elevating me always.
Beautiful. Love it. Second question, what is your favorite thing to do to get motivated or inspired when you're not feeling so motivated and inspired?
I turn on music and I dance. I find a reason to laugh. And sometimes, honestly, I just look at clouds. And the reason why I look at clouds, it's significant for me. I look at clouds because they change within seconds. And they're beautiful, right? When you're looking at clouds, you're like, oh my God, you see images in them. And then all of a sudden they transform quickly, which reminds me like, oh yeah, I'm like a cloud. If we believe in the aspect of oneness, then the elements of a cloud are within me as well. And so it gives me permission to change almost instantaneously into what I want to be in that moment. So I
Oh,
do
I
that a lot.
love that. Oh my goodness. Amazing. And the last one, Janice, what do you want to be remembered for?
Yeah. Well, one thing for sure is that I'm known for my laugh. That is just like without a doubt.
There we go. We're
My
all going to remember
signature
Janice's laugh.
characteristic.
Done. Check.
That's right. Check. Which ultimately there's like 9 wisdoms in the main wisdoms in the planet, and one is joy. And I do want to be known to have spread joy, have ignited joy within others. But really, I want people to say, she helped me find me.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Please download, rate, subscribe, and share this podcast. Also, be sure to visit my website at teresacaesar.com to check out my inspirational merch, connect to my social accounts, and much more. May you continue to be filled with wisdom, inspiration, and consciousness. Otherwise, friends, I will be back in 2 weeks for another episode of Heart to Talk.